This is Sybert signing into Red Alert 3 on the map Magmageddon for a 3v3 on the left side as the Yellow Soviets. This is redalertdotcom or redalertdotcom. Their ally to the south as the Blue Soviets. This is Libra. Look at that crane first Libra. This is not DDF Libra. This is the other Libra. Always have to clarify. And as the Orange Empire, this is Karaali. Karaali? It might actually be Carly, but it's spelled Karaally, apparently. Karaali. In the north as the Red Allies, this is YuNo. Their teammate to the south as the Green Empire, this is Zhou. And all the way in the south as the purple, this is Yuri Prime. Uh-oh, what is this? Hold up. Hold up. All right, so he gets his engineer and his tier 3, his nanotech mainframe at the same time. This is the strategy that Yuri Prime is going for in this particular game. At the same time, Xouth going to be getting a third refinery and a mecha bay up rather quickly. Sickle going to be protecting the engineer away from YuNo. And actually, YuNo has allies. Soviet Empire. Wow, so yeah, one allied player in a 6-player game. Lots of Empire. Decent amount of Soviet. Mostly, you know, Empire and Soviet. But one ally. YuNo going to be representing that allied dream of winning all the time and never not winning. The dojo gets caught, and a couple of Imperial warriors from Karaali crossing the middle of the map to head over to Yuri's side. Also YuNo's side, but YuNo's way up here. Airfield up and running for YuNo. No third refinery just yet, but the MCV is moving fairly aggressively. Gets caught by the terror drone as the Sickles jump in to deal with the Peacekeepers. And there's a gigantic roar from that bear, but their bear does get crushed. A couple of the Peacekeepers getting eliminated there, unfortunately for YuNo. He's going to have some real trouble with this. This is a Eureka rush, and that is a sudden transport, so we'll have to jump back to that as the MCV of YuNo has broken free. The terror drone has been dealt with. The Vindicator is going to be coming in, as well as Xouth with a couple of Tangus to push back this assault. redalertdotcom doesn't have any idea what's coming for him. Is one of these a sudden transport? One of them is a sudden transport. I love this idea. Yuri Prime going to be keeping this sudden transport with a Tangu, but it gets revealed there by the burst drone. Carly with the burst drone, the clutch burst drone in the north. And Yuri Prime was also using the formation move command to keep them moving at the same speed, because otherwise, never mind, no he's not. Otherwise the sudden transport is faster than a Tangu, and I thought that he was doing something clever to keep them together in a different kind of way. Eureka Omega is here. Yuri Prime going to be juggling some tsunami tanks and already killing the MCV, which is exactly what you want. There's the psychokinetic burst as she is now going to continue juggling a couple of tsunami tanks, but this is a hit and run tactic. Could maybe even dodge out, kill a refinery, and then jump back in. No, it looks like the Imperial Warriors are going to be a little bit too close. Going for the Mecha Bay has to be probably your next target, or going straight out onto the water and nuking that refinery out there. Libra, does he actually have the fortitude to stand against Eureka out on the water? Eureka getting overwhelmed, and can she escape out onto the water? Only one tsunami tank is chasing, which means this is juggleable by Yuri Prime. That is a double vet Eureka Prime, but she is Eureka Omega, but she is not up there just yet. Freaking XYHC's video where he talks about how Yuri and Eureka are related is throwing me for an absolute loop here. The terror drone gets tossed up into the air. The terror drone will be eliminated. Goodbye, terror drone. The hammer tank is not going to be enough, and redalertdotcom has dropped his super reactor next to Libra's super reactor, which in theory might be more protected, but in reality is not. I love that Xouth is here with his Tangus, with his tsunami tanks, going to be helping out a little bit against this Eureka push, or with this Eureka push. Going to be going for the MC, or for the War Factory potentially here as Yuriko splits off to the other side. Going to be going for the Crane. A great move here as Libra has been defeated. Hands everything over to redalertdotcom, and redalertdotcom has also been defeated. Hands everything over to karaali, and this is going to be it. Goodbye, War Factory. You are the next target. YuNo in the north just absolutely crushing it with that allied infantry. Such an incredibly powerful unit composition in the right hands. And when your opponent is standing still, when they're under paralysis and just unable to move, a total shutdown and a total destruction by our team on the right side. That Yuriko rush, man, if you are not ready for it, if you don't see it coming and your opponent decides to go for it, it can be very tough to stop. And this one almost went bad. Those Imperial Warriors almost had Yuriko dead to rights. Carl is actually going to be fighting this one out. You got to hand it to karaali, doing what he can to stay into this game. And, well, I think this game is pretty much over, but is he just killing his own units because? Yes, he is. Wow. He's literally killing his own units just because they're ahead that far. Xouth, who himself managed a, like, tremendous 1v3 comeback, is showboating a little bit here, and that is it. The GG gets typed. karaali has been defeated, and Yuri Prime leading his team to victory. But honestly, YuNo putting up a good fight in the north. Xouth helping out Yuri Prime, because if your opponent gets the drop on Yuriko, or any of the commandos, but, you know, Yuriko is, in a lot of ways, the best. If your opponent gets the drop on Yuriko, they can still turn that around, and now you've dumped a ton of cash into this tech path that maybe didn't pay off for itself. Here it definitely did, and getting your opponent's MCV right out of the bag is pretty much paying for itself. Maybe not exactly, depending on how much infrastructure they've set up, but that will do it for this game. Great build by Yuri Prime. Obviously, he didn't invent this. XYHC actually has a great video on how to execute this build, so if you want to learn that, go ahead and check out XYHC's channel. If I remember, I'll put it in the description. And this is Sybert signing into Red Alert 3 on the map, Fire Island in the south side. As the Cyan Soviets, this is XYHC, one of the hottest video producers in the Red Alert 3 game right now. In the north, as the Purple Empire, this is Yuri Prime, one of the hottest commentators in the game right now. And by that, I mean he sometimes leaves the comments on the videos. I guess XYHC does also sometimes show up in the comments. So both of these guys may very well be represented in the comments. If you're watching this as it comes out, just a reminder that I am traveling out of town for much of March and April. I actually don't know when this might come out near the end of March. Anyways, I'm traveling and out of town, so the plan is to pre-record a bunch of stuff, which is what this is, and then release it over the course of have everything ready to go and pre-released. And then, ooh, a flak trooper gets eliminated, which is a nice catch there for Yuri Prime. And then release it as I'm out of town. So if everything goes according to plan, then that's what will happen. Mecha Bay coming on out from Yuri Prime. Feels a little bit late. Maybe it was just because we got to watch it run over a bear and right into a super reactor. Never mind, not right into. It's a War Factory first. War Factory on out for XYHC. Who actually, this might be an old replay because I know somewhat recently, I feel like he was originally an Empire player. And then somewhat recently, to take advantage of cryo shenanigans, he was playing some Allied games. But that may not actually be recently. To be honest, I don't remember when it was he was doing those cryo shenanigans. It could have been months ago at this point. Everything is yesterday and months ago somehow in this timeline. Couple of sickles, bullfrog, and an engineer out for XYHC. He's desperately looking to try and find that oil derrick to take back over. Sickle's going to be able to deal with a couple of the tank busters very nicely there before the Tengus are going to chase everything else away. One sickle down, the second sickle getting low on health. The conscript gets eliminated, and Yuri Prime may not actually get the kill on the sickle, but the engineer would be the better target to go for. How has that engineer survived? Yuri Prime let that engineer survive. That engineer, the hero of the people, is somehow still alive. I can't believe Yuri Prime allowed that engineer to live. Am I not understanding like a gentleman's agreement? Nice catch of the sickle and the terror drone at the same time. These couple of... What? We're not even... You're kidding. This is ridiculous. I don't even know what that was. Looks like the engineer ended up getting cleaned up. Everything going wrong pretty much for XYHC. He does have his third refinery up and running relatively soon, which is going to be faster than Yuri Prime, who is a little bit lagging on the expansion. No third ref out on the field. No third nanocore even constructed for Yuri Prime. Bullfrogs and Hammer Tanks both heading to the front line for XYHC. The Tengus, they're going to very soon not be in good enough numbers to actually stand up against reinforcements, and presuming like a sentry gun or something is going to come out. Bear gets a pretty decent roar-off, shuts down 2 of the tank busters. 2 tank busters still around. This Hammer Tank needs a little bit more backup to be able to take on this whole army. He's going to get all of the Tengus, loses 1 Hammer Tank for it, and loses the barracks as well. 2 more tank busters still around, one of them double vet. Whole bunch of Tengus coming in from the corners of the map. It is Tengu spam on 2 refinery for Yuri Prime, which is not a good equation. You can win off of 2 refinery Tengu spam, but I think you're going to have a hard time pulling this off. The MCV packs up. Yeah, I assume this is for crushes. Hammer tanks. No additional hammer tanks, so he's literally just got the 1 hammer tank. This could be problematic for XYHC with only 1 hammer tank out on the field. Going to be trying to use the terror drone, I assume, to stasis some of these Tengus. Oh, the pathing, the humanity, the pathing almost causing that Tengu to die, and this terror drone unable to lock down any of these Tengus to get the kill on them for the MCV. There's the crush of 1 Tengu. A second Tengu will get frozen in space and in time. Strikers showing up, and still nothing out on the field. 2 more hammer tanks now out for XYHC. He had a couple of bullfrogs earlier, but they've been picked off by the Tengus over the course of this game. And now that the striker is here, he's going to have a difficult time actually dealing with this. The Tengus go for the transform, and the MCV under serious threat. He's not going to be able to save it, and XYHC barely does indeed lose his MCV, and well, there's the rocket pods upgrade just getting purchased for this fully heroic Chopper VX, who's going to be able to do damage to the Harvester as well. 2 more strikers showing up, and this is going to be a dead Harvester one way or the other. Five Chopper VXs, but still no third refinery. And unfortunately, XYHC without the MCV is going to have a hard time playing as defensively as he needs to. Bleeding off too many units early on, and with no MCV to drop a sentry gun or a Tesla coil or a flak cannon to try and anchor your forces, this is going to be a difficult hold. He does have the third refinery up and running, and I guess he never actually lost the ore collector, which is good. The engineer, I think, is still running around somewhere. 1 striker going down. Good control of the bullfrogs by XYHC. This is the kind of stuff that he needed to be doing from the beginning of the game, is just skirting right on the edges of all of his opponent's units. and keeping the damage away from his base. A couple of Tengus now going to reinforce those strikers, and this is where things could get problematic for XYHC. Hammer Tank's completely in the wrong position to deal with these Tengus, which means the Tengus are going to be creating lots of space for these strikers. And goodbye War Factory, as this is a suicidal run. But they get the kill on the War Factory, and that is it for XYHC. The GG comes out as he has nothing left on the map. Yuri Prime taking that one with some good old-fashioned Tengu spam opening, followed up with some classic Tier 2 Striker Tengu option combo. There you go. That will do it for this game. Thank you all very much for watching, and this is Sybert signing out.